Welcome back. I'm moving on to last segment of today, talking about arts and music. And of course, this is our soft power. And only music and arts can bring people from different nationalities, regardless of the religion or background, together. And of course, one of our main tools in celebrating any of our festivities is, of course, by music, especially that, let's say, music, something that can express our feelings or deeply feelings. So, first of all, allow me to welcome my guest for today, Dr. Dalia Younis, content creator and an independent artist. Good morning.
Good morning.
So, first of all, talking about music as a soft power. And of course, we have another or one of the important initiatives when it comes to music, that is community-based singing initiatives. Tell us more about this initiative and how important it is.
Okay, so I believe that community-based singing and music initiatives in general are very important because they bring people to the basic human nature. I mean, think about how people, since the earliest forms of history, used singing as a tool for self-expression. You can find farmers, craftsmen, heavy-duty workers using singing to cope with long working hours. You can find mothers creating lullabies to put cranky children to sleep. So it has been always there as a tool for self-expression. So when I thought about Aadad Ghuna, or the singing circle, I thought that the Egyptian community needs an initiative that brings people together, as diverse as they are, as different as they are, and as beautiful as they are, so that they can all practice group singing, which is scientifically proven to promote for mental health and for psychological well-being. So the idea of the singing circle is that we're creating a safe space for everyone, not necessarily musicians or talented vocalists, to come together, sing out loud songs that they really love and they really enjoy, and they just practice that in a safe haven without any bullying, without any sarcasm, without any satire. So at the end of the day, I felt that people in the Egyptian community lack that. They need some space to express themselves without all the intimidation and fear of judgment and of bullying and everything. So for 3 years we have been doing this in Egypt, and I'm very proud that we came out of Cairo to other governorates as well. We carried singing circles in Alexandria, in Tanta, in Minya, and I really dream that we can take that initiative and that concept to other governorates around Egypt.
And who knows, you might come out with some talented singers as well.
Yeah, actually this has been the case in many singing circles. I have another project called Klaxix, or Kalakskiyat in Arabic, which is basically a project for a cappella singing, a classical form of singing that uses only human vocalists. And I used that very unique form of art to remake some Egyptian folklore, pop music, and even the very common mahraganat music in Egypt, which people always stereotype as like trash music and unclassy music. So I use classical art, which is very prestigious and very elite, to remake these songs and show people that classical singing could make something beautiful out of what other people think is not beautiful. So because I need very, very talented vocalists in this project, I used to spot some talents in the singing circle, although it's not mainly targeting talented vocalists, but I was very, very lucky to find some talented vocalists during the singing circle. And what I consider myself more lucky in is that I found beautiful human beings. I found people who are not afraid to show their emotions.
I was just going to ask you about how your initiatives were perceived by Egyptians, and who are exactly the audience? Are they all youth, or you have some old ages? Tell me more about it. It's interesting.
Yes, I can describe the singing circle as it's a mini form of our Egyptian society.
So you have a variety?
A big variety. You can find people as young as 4 years old coming to the singing circle, participating in the circle, and you can find people as old as 65 in the circle as well. You can find people who are trying this for the first time. They never tried any community-based art initiative before. They never attended such an event before. And you can find people who are very, very active in attending such new trends in activities and events in Egypt. But the thing that brings them all in common is that they love to sing, and they love to be singing without any judgment. This is what brings everyone to the table. And one of the most beautiful things that I ever heard about the singing circle, and it's something that motivates me to keep going, is that people told me that it's starting to become like a group therapy rather than just an event that we attend every month. It's something that we anticipate for. It's something that we wait for, and it's something that we want to help to keep going. I have a group of volunteers who actually attended the circle before, and just because they want this to keep going, and it's a non-profit initiative, and there is no support, financial support of any kind. So I find people who are not just happy with the circle, but they want to contribute in making it go on and making it go to other places as well.
What is really interesting is that you are the first Muslim veiled woman to also to practice in the church Christian hymn as well. Of course, this is of great importance, and of course, even if I'm saying this today, this is not something new about Egyptians. We have always been living together, and I believe that sometimes you don't know even your best friend what religion she belongs to. So tell me about this experience, and how did you work on this?
Well, ever since I was a teen, I was a big fan of Fayrouz, the great Egyptian diva, Lebanese diva, sorry. So I remember that when I was 15, I listened to that very beautiful album of Fayrouz for the Good Friday prayers, and I was actually very surprised that that Fayrouz performed a lot of Christian hymns, and to me, these are one of her best works ever, artworks ever. So I just, like listen to them and memorize them like any other beautiful song that catches your eyes. So after a while, I realized that it's a bit awkward for me as a Muslim veiled woman to be very interested in such type of singing. But at the end of the day, I considered it as art, and art is not always usual to everyone. Sometimes you perform unusual art, so I just considered it as an unusual art that I perform as part of my music project. And in 2018, I had this idea of performing a hymn called إليك الورد يا مريم, Roses to You, Mary. And I thought that perhaps I can sing it inside a church to make use of the beautiful acoustics of the place.
Can you recall a part of this? So maybe you can listen to it.
Yes, of course. إليك الورد يا مريم يهدى من أيادينا هلمي واقتفي منا عربنا حب أكيد مع تهانينا أكيد مع تهانينا. So I just went like that inside the church without any instruments, without any production, just a phone camera, and that's it. So suddenly I found it picked up by the media. Suddenly I found the title of the first veiled Muslim who performs inside churches and everything. But to me, it was far more simpler than this. It's just that I loved the song, and I loved an icon, which is Virgin Mary, beloved by everyone here in
No,
Egypt.
even
And
you
that's it.
affected my inner feelings right now while just performing this short part. And this is the most important part about it. Even I don't want to listen to music. It is enough just to hear the words of something like this, and we can feel it. Especially, we are talking about something that is common among Muslims and Christians as well. When we talk about Jesus, when we talk about Maryam, of course, all these human values has nothing to do with the religion itself, but it has to do with humanity. Maybe I will ask for another part, if you don't mind.
Well, definitely, yes. Maybe I can actually sing something that I have wrote for Thanksgiving. Last Thanksgiving, I was invited to an interfaith event by St. John the Baptist Church in Maadi. And I performed a hymn that I personally wrote. It's an Arabic cover for a hymn called For the Beauty of the Earth. And it's all about being thankful to God for every beautiful thing that we have. So here's a small part of the Arabic version.
Please go on.
شوفي السما واسعة وصافية شوفي الأرض جميلة ازاي في لحظة جميلة ودافية على أنغام صوت الناي برفع صوتي وبغني للسما أغنية تقول الحمد لله عندي قلبي ساعي الكل بحمد ربنا عليه لون الورد وريحة الفل حتى مج النسكافيه برفع صوتي وبغني للسما أغنية تقول الحمد لله نعمه كتيرة ولا تحصى بس احنا بننساها كتير ونس وشغف فكر وصحة دم خفيف وحلم كبير برفع صوتي وبغني للسما أغنية تقول الحمد لله.
Thanks God. So I want to talk more about what you are doing really express the strength of the Egyptian woman. Of course, Egyptians in general, but as long as we are both women here. So I want to talk about the role of women in this. And you were very, let me say, brave to do this and to take such a step. Of course, you have a direct message, not only in Egypt, but to the whole world.
Well, I've been always a very active promoter, very active actually promoter for women's rights and feminism and everything. So I remember when I used to travel outside Egypt, and the first impression that I usually left is that she's a very typical Muslim Egyptian woman. I'm actually a mother as well, so I look very mediocre, like a very normal person. So just the moment I start talking about my ideas, my projects, my singing, and so people get very, very surprised. I mean, you don't look like artists, you don't look like activists, you don't look like those people who practice such ideas. So this was actually a core value that I'm promoting for. And as a woman, you don't have to look or you don't have to act in a certain way in order to express yourselves and what you truly believe in. So this is something that I always stress in every media interview, in every art project I do, is that you have the right, whatever your background is or however you look, you have the right to express yourself in the way you choose without any judgment or without any harsh criticism from others. I mean, I accept criticism all the time, and especially after performing Christian hymns, I've been faced by a very, very high wave of harsh criticism. But that's okay.
But I think not anymore. Maybe it was in the very beginning.
Well,
now it is different.
I can say that I became stronger in dealing with it. It's still there, but I just, got used to it. So at the end of the day, it's how strong you believe in what you're doing that keeps you going. So to me, the idea of being a woman who leads an a cappella troupe in Egypt, a woman who writes music, a woman who writes lyrics, a woman who is not afraid of extremists and can be as bold as going, and singing out loud inside a church and taking this on camera. To me, this is a message that I want to always deliver, not just to every Egyptian woman, but to all women around the world. I believe that all women around the world have a lot to give to their communities, and sometimes their potentials are hindered just by the restrictions they have in the society. So I hope that everything that I do, that all my art and all my messages to the world just inspires even one woman in a very, very far place that I don't even know about to just do something that she has been always dreaming for, and she has been scared, and she has been feeling that she will never be supported. So just my existence, I hope it inspires people.
Definitely
I hope
not
so.
to give up. So if I'm talking about, as you mentioned, many women in Egypt, they would like to do a lot, express themselves, to be accepted. So if I'm talking about, of course there is no time, we have to conclude our show, but I wanted to talk about, you are moving on from one place to the other, right? You're not only having these initiatives or rounds in Egypt, right? I mean in Cairo.
In Cairo, yes.
So you're moving on to other governorates as well?
Yes, I do this as funds are available. I mean, sometimes people donate to the singing circle. Sometimes we find places that are interested to host the circle in other places. So we're trying to do that as funds are available.
Right. Again, I want to express my happiness because you are with me today.
Thank you.
Or that I'm with you today. And actually, I love what you are singing. And as you have seen, you brought tears to my eyes. So I want to conclude with another part of your songs. But allow me just first to thank you, Dr. Dalia Younis, the content creator and independent artist. Thank you very much for being with us. Happy New Year. And now it's time for you just to conclude the show with a love.